Tonight I'd like to share with you a piece written by Dahr Jamail, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but in any case, he's a well-known independent journalist and has been a long time Middle East correspondent, and you can find his articles all over the web, and he does maintain his own website. I'll post a link to this article once I'm finished reading parts of it. The article is entitled "Learning to Lead." What's in a system? We in the United States have grown acclimatized to a system that first dehumanizes us and then inevitably feeds on our dehumanization, sucking away at our resources, our rights, and our resistance while scamper frantically around in the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. We would all like to imagine that it is our agency that drives us, that our lives are under our own control. The truth, however, is that we're the ones under control. The reason we do not notice is that this control is masked as security, which we have been told is synonymous with freedom. Recently, as Dahr Jamail writes, I passed through an airport checkpoint monitored by TSA and witnessed the system rear its ugly head once again. TSA is one of several security gifts from the Bush administration, or rather from the twisted conjunction of corporate business and state power that oversees and safeguards our freedom and our democracy through an elaborate system of control mechanisms. Immediately in front of me, an elderly gentleman in a wheelchair was trying to reason with a security guard who was asking him to take off his sandals. "What do you want me to do? I didn't wear socks so you could see my feet since I'm unable to bend over and take off my sandals." "Sir, you must comply with policy," the guard said in a raised voice, and 3 other TSA agents moved in behind him, arms folded ominously across their chests, and surrounded the elderly man in the wheelchair who requested their assistance, doing what he could do to comply. None of the guards stepped forward to take off his sandals for him in order to check his feet. In exasperation, he shouted, "I'm asking for help and you won't do it, so what do you want me to do? What the hell am I supposed to do? What are you afraid of? I'm an old man. What, are you afraid of my sandals?" The guards would not allow him through the X-ray machine until he eventually lowered his voice. We must never upset the status quo, because that is an important pillar of the system that holds change in dread. Don't rock the boat, and don't you dare speak up, lest it indicate that something might be wrong. It requires no crystal ball to see that we're embedded in a system that has no qualms about harassing old men in wheelchairs or making pregnant women go through X-ray machines. It's the same system that's killing scores of Iraqi and Afghan civilians daily and killing the planet systemically. It is a system that requires us to be sleepwalkers rather than alert and sensitive human beings. The entire presidential campaign was abuzz with talk of change. Barack Obama, elected, symbolizes the deep desire for change in our country and elsewhere. We thirst for it like we would for cool water in the desert. Our lungs are starved for a breath of positive change in a new direction. And the victory of Obama symbolizes our need for change. The inhabitants of this planet are beginning to sense the need for something that can replace the willful and self-defeating death urge of corporate consumer culture that is bent upon destroying everything. The fate of the world, one could argue, is dependent on a shift in consciousness. The election of Barack Obama has demonstrated that this shift in fact might be occurring. Undeniably, there is a possibility at this moment. But is there change? Since it is the United States that is primarily responsible for dragging the world economy into a recession, much of the world is now relying on it to provide the solution. Needless to say, the same applies to our attempts at empire building, our excessive contribution to heedless pollution, our invasion of sovereign states, and our transgressions and violations of international law. We have an African American president now, or soon, but let us be clear about one thing: he is but a symbol. And our need and faith may not suffice for the symbol of change to deliver real change. There is a tremendous schism between what Barack Obama is saying and what he is doing. Already he's gathering around him a group of people that are not only likely to maintain the status quo, but worse, possibly cause our current catastrophic situation to worsen. I may make a follow-up video on this and read the entire article. I don't know yet. Anyway, thanks for listening. Good night.